Hey everyone, Aftermarket Weekly, Carm, Capriato. We are live. It is 12 noon East Coast time. It is a Tuesday. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Having a chance to listen to some great wise words and see a virtual shop tour. We do this each and every Tuesday, and we're coming to you live from the Dorman OE Fix studio, offering great aftermarket insights and wisdom as we do. And of course, I think you all know this. We turn this into a podcast. This is one of the most unique shows in the industry. And when we talk about shows, we're not entertaining at all, but it's a show that we bring you some great insight. We're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and we pull aftermarket professionals from all over. And by the way, hey, if you're going to hang out with us at all on any social media, check in with your city, give us a like, comment, a share. It'd be great to have you. And if you've got a question or two or a comments, we'd love to hear your comments. Hey, I'm with a great panel. It's a great panel. I have Charlie Marcotte from American Pride Automotive, 4 locations in the Virginia Peninsula. Hello there, Charlie.
Hey, Carm. How are you doing?
I'm great. Glad to have you here. And Riley and Brenda O'Neal from Repair One Automotive in the Woodlands, Texas. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Good. Did we get lucky, Brenda? Is your mic working? No. Oh, darn. Well, we've been in backstage. We've been in backstage trying to work out all of this, but we're going to go out to O'Neal's at Repair One. Here's a picture of what we're going to have a chance to have that virtual tour in a little while. Charlie, you were on the first episode ever with me, with Andy Bizham, and we talked about dropping the keys and fix it. And I have to tell you, Charlie, that was a great episode. Thank you so much for that. Just go to the website, type in Charlie Marcotte if you need to find it. And Brenda and her husband, Brett, were on with us. Brett O'Neal. And it was way back, episode, what was it, 249, everybody, 249. Thank you for doing that. It was just a wonderful episode. Now, today's agenda, we are going to, Charlie's going to come on and talk about managing your money and who doesn't care about what happens to greenbacks, where they go, how they get where they get, and how come there's nothing left at the end of the month because I can't pay all my bills, right, Charlie?
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. And don't forget, as I was saying, everyone, and we work so hard behind the scenes with my daughter, Tracy, bringing you these episodes, not only this live show, but, the intensity of live, we record everything. You can find this on YouTube, and it becomes a podcast. Every Saturday morning, you could listen to this on the Remarkable Results stream on all of your favorite podcast listening apps. As we always do, we have a trivia today. What year did the U.S. have registered 1 million cars? What year were there 1 million cars on the road? That may be a toughie for any of you on my panel to know. It's an interesting number. Hey, I want to thank so much Dorman for their great sponsorship of the show.
Dorman consistently is looking for improved solutions to help save time and money for those who are performing the repairs. Dorman's all-in-one loaded backing plate solution does just that. With 0 assembly required, you can now stop disassembling multiple pieces to make backing plate and e-brake repairs. Dorman's loaded backing plates deliver a complete solution. This assembly replaced all the failure-prone components by combining parking brake shoes and hardware onto the backing plate. The pre-mounted parking brake shoes, springs, and clips for a bolt and go solution. Want to know more about Dorman? Well, visit dormanproducts.com/tour. Hey, would you like to learn more about Dorman's innovations? Visit dormanproducts.com/tour.
Hey, thank you, Dorman. Do you recall a few weeks back we were live at Dorman? What a cool place that was, I have to tell you. I just love that behind the scenes tour. Hey, today a brand new episode went out. Total Management Commitment to Training from Kareem Morsley. I wrote the words "be bold" on it because Kareem has a message for you about his commitment to training. And let me say this, and I rarely get up on my soapbox, but when I do, I'm usually passionate about something. This was so good, this episode, and it is profound. You're going to listen to Kareem and you're going to say, OMG, I can't believe he invested this kind of strategy, think, and processes and systems to build probably one of the best training commitments that I've seen anywhere in the industry. So please have a chance to listen to that one. We also put out a great episode last Friday, Hitting Rock Bottom and Climbing Out. Donna and Jeff Hazeltine, and along with Troy Vantonetti, were on. And Donna and Jeff, they talk about two people who don't have an ego, who wanted to share their incredible story about being almost at rock bottom and what they did after, with a great, large, successful business, and what happened to them and how they turned it around. We also did a great bonus episode this week with Trish Sheratori about June being Service Professionals Month, and some great tips in there. And finally, the Town Hall Academy that came out last Thursday, Make Price Irrelevant. A lot of great ideas in there. Well, there is an update on how busy we've been behind the scenes, creating great automotive aftermarket podcast content. And Charlie's with me, and we were chatting, and I said, what do you want to talk about? And he goes, money. And I say, cool. We love that green stuff. But, we've done shows on Profit First. So many people are doing Profit First. And Charlie, I guess you've got, you're working it really hard, and it's working well for you.
It really is. And just like you had mentioned Dawn and Jeff earlier, climbing up from rock bottom, it sounds like they probably told a little bit of their past and how maybe it wasn't so glorious at one point, and how they found themselves back up out of the hole. For me, it's a similar trek. And I think that our shops are probably just like anybody else's shops. We started from nothing, from a storage unit, 10-foot by 20-foot storage unit. And along the way, we handled a lot of money. And for 25 years, we held on to very little. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a mystery, because it kind of was a mystery. I mean, how was it that we owed taxes every year when we had no money left over? Where did it go?
Well, wait a minute. That is, Charlie, that is one of the greatest mysteries of life.
Yeah, it is.
You can't even find the answer to that in the Bible, I've been told.
Well, it takes a lot of friends who are a whole lot smarter than I am, to help identify where that problem exists. But for me, it took 25 years to find the solution. And the solution was that book, Profit First. I've heard some people call it elementary. I've heard some people say that it's not necessary to have different accounts for different purposes, that they can account for it, as I did for 25 years, all under one general ledger. But I couldn't do it effectively. And I ended up at the end of every year, just about where I started. The cash flow number was close to zero after handling millions. It was incredible. So I look at accounting, it's kind of like a big shell game. You start off with your shells on the table, you move them all around, and you really don't know where that pea is. Where is it? It's underneath one of those shells. So how can you end up with more money by having more shells? And I'm not sure I can completely explain how it works, but it does. And the name of the story behind it, Profit First, we've all heard our parents tell us when we're kids, pay yourself first. And, to me, that meant a paycheck. So when you're writing out paychecks, do you write your paycheck out first for yourself? I don't know. But what it means to me now is put your profit first. Take that percentage, whatever your percentage might be, and set it aside in an inconvenient location where you can't touch it. And that money grows at an exponential rate.
Inconvenient. I love it. That is a great word. Inconvenience.
Well, isn't that the premise behind a piggy bank? The whole idea was to make it inconvenient. You put your money through the slot, but you had to smash it open. A good piggy bank has no exit, just an entry. And eventually, maybe your self-discipline gets the best of you and you want to smash it open and buy something. Yeah. But in the meantime, it's inconvenient, and it's that fact that allows it to grow.
That's a great point. By the way, I did interview Mike McCallowitz, who wrote Profit First,
Yes.
episode 421. Episode 421. We're right around episode 650 now, so it was a bit ago that we interviewed Mike, and then we've done a lot of shows. So on my website, Charlie, and thank you so much for bringing Profit First here, but go to my website, type in Profit First, and you'll hear a lot of shop owners like Charlie speak to the disciplines that they had in order to keep control and manage money. And you can also hear Mike McCallowitz. He's a funny guy, and I think his father-in-law maybe in the aftermarket. Maybe I think he owns a shop. So Mike's kind of intimate to what it is that we do.
Well, he has a great audience with us because we're not all the best, or I should say the most disciplined of shop owners or business owners out there. And I would figure out what I could spend based on the bottom line of the general ledger. And amazingly, I always found needs or things to spend money on if there was money left in the account. And my only self-discipline came when that account was getting close to zero for 25 years. I mean, give me a break. It's embarrassing to say. But the separate account idea, at first it sounded arduous, like there's going to be a lot of work involved in setting them up. And initially, there may be a little bit of effort there, but now it's like clockwork. During this past 12 months, we bought another shop. So my allocation to operating expenses, to profit, to tax accrual, to capital improvement, to owner's compensation, to all those other accounts, my percentages never changed. When we picked up the new shop, our revenue jumped significantly, but my percentages didn't change. The good news was my profit increased because I was setting aside the same percentage that I was at a lower gross revenue.
Yeah.
Now I've got more money in that account. It's still the same percentage. The pain factor never changed. I can't imagine what I would have gone through had I not had that discipline set up when we acquired the fourth shop.
Yeah.
It definitely wouldn't have been as good of a story.
I think, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but managing your business out of a general fund is just bad.
Well, I would say it's bad, but remember, the most of us listening started in the same manner, with nothing, undercapitalized, with really no idea what we were getting ourselves into. We started from scratch, and we basically worked our way into a business and then through a business. And sometimes we never really did have a functional, profitable business because we're not accountants. We're not CEOs. Most of us have not had the privilege of going through college. So there's good reason that we don't have the discipline that a typical white collar company has. But those of us in this industry understand that the profitability in what we do compared to others in different industries is tremendous. This is one of the best businesses to be in. And it's our responsibility to handle those funds properly. One thing that we're all complaining about these days is employee acquisition, technician hiring. If we can't afford to pay them what they're worth, that problem is going to persist. We owe it to ourselves and to our future to have real profit set aside in a safe account that allows us to compete with the competition, which is not each other. The competition is the new car dealer. And in order for us to attract those talents from those dealerships, we have to be able to pay what they're worth. And that's going to allow us to grow and be successful.
Wow. Charlie Marcotte, American Pride Automotive, thank you so much for being here and doing, if you will, a short piece on money allocations from the Profit First strategy that you have so well adopted. And thank you for saying confession, frankly, that you weren't a good money manager until one day you figured you better be or had to be. And I'll tell you, it takes stones to say that. So thank you very much.
Well, I'm an open book, and I love being on your show, Carm. You are a tremendous host.
Thanks. We got more coming up. I can't wait to have you on. We're going to get ready to do our virtual shop tour, but remember on our website, remarkableresults.biz and the AW, the Aftermarket Weekly page, you can see listen to every podcast. You can see every tour. They're all there, of course, on your favorite podcast listening app. Hey, coming up tomorrow, we are going to go live tomorrow with another Carmcast with a title we're going to call Day End Process. And I'm looking forward to that live tomorrow on a Carmcast. And this Friday, we're going to do a great show on Second in Command, a CEO perspective, finding your highly valued and qualified number two. I hope we're all ready out there in Texas because we're going to come and check out it. Well, we have Riley O'Neal. Hello, Riley.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. Is it possible that we're going to be able to get your mom on or not?
I don't know. She came in. She could hear everything, and then she wasn't able to hear anything.
All right. Well, look at here's the deal. Ask her to come in if you can, and maybe you guys can flip the headsets.
Yeah.
We'd sure love to talk to her later, but I know that you and Tracy recorded this virtual tour, so I'll let you start it with her. So,
okay.
Riley, the pulpit is yours.
All right, sounds good. So this is just the front of our building. We face the road called Luetta. It's a very high trafficked road. So it's pretty visible, and thousands of cars pass by it every day, which is really good for us, right? But
is that a digital sign?
It's not. We've kind of weighed the options whether or not we wanted to do a digital sign or not, okay. But we went ahead and just went with a standalone for now, and might switch later on.
Stop the video for a moment. Let me ask you, what city are we in here?
So this is considered Spring, Texas. Okay. It's kind of a weird deal because Spring is very large. So it's technically Klein, which is basically in Spring. So it's the Spring Klein area.
Okay. Spring Klein. And you have two locations, right, guys?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I don't know if she's able to, if you can hear her or not, but our original location, my parents run and operate, and theirs is up in the Woodlands, in Conroe is the major city next to there as well.
Conroe,
that they
great.
Would apply to.
Okay. Oh, we'll start the video again. Open that door. I love that counter. That is pretty sharp looking.
Thanks. Yeah. It was pretty neat that they could get the wood to wrap around like that. So it's a good, nice opening. The shop that was here before, you basically walked right into the counter once you opened the door. So it was nice to have some space and open the ceilings up a little bit.
Did you do a lot of heavy remodeling?
A ton. Yeah. So this, where that little pony wall was basically the back wall before. So we were able to add in this waiting room, add in the little drink station with some coffee, some water. Add in a small play area that has a car.
Yeah, we got to stop the video here. This is just so cool. I love this.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So we found
for Riley, for people that are listening to us and not actually watching, please describe what they're seing through audio.
So we got it'd be a 67. The pictures that I sent to get modeled after, but it's a 67 Mustang completely made out of wood, although it doesn't look like wood necessarily. But it's all colored, the GT 350s on the side, the stripings and everything. There's like a GT 350 wood. They made it a convertible so kids can crawl in and out, use the steering wheel. And then the engine is made up of a bunch of foam parts, so they can completely disassemble the engine and put it all back together, including taking out, the fan and everything, the heads, everything. So, cool. It's pretty neat.
So cool. All right, roll tape. How nice. Great kids play area. And unfortunately for the last, year, there hasn't been any kids probably in the
right.
place.
Yeah. I mean, we've hardly had people coming in the waiting room and waiting. So it's been kind of, recent. Like we had some kids in this morning, and they were going to town, and it's fun to hear the parents talk about how their kids like to mess around on it. And
I love it. Really sharp looking front.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So basically, from here on used to be the shop. So we added in this small office space, which I'm in now. I'm mostly behind the counter for now, so we're in there occasionally. And then this is just our back desk area where I sit, and then my service advisor, Brian, who's up front with me.
That's a beautiful view of the shop. Just a beautiful view, a glass view.
Yeah. We like having the big open window so people like to be able to see in. And then small parts room. We don't stock hardly any parts. Our vendors are very, very close, so we're kind of fortunate. We've got a lot of options, so it's just, easy, small things that we keep on hand, like light bulbs and stuff like that. And then this is the shop. So a small area for technicians to look up stuff on the computer. They've got their own little setup. We have a small break room at our other location, but it never seemed to be used. So when we remodeled, we just went without, and because no one ever used the other one. So we've got a couple of flat bays in the front. One's a state inspection bay. And then, so it's 6 bays side by side, 8 bays side by side here.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you walk through
the floor, did you guys put the floor in?
Yeah, so we completely redid the floor. So they grind everything out. There was old epoxy paint that was there, so we had them layer down those. If you've seen like home garages that have those flakes, it's kind of industrial level though. And then they epoxied over the top of that. So that way it could, look good. And then we've got a couple flat bays in the back, and then that wall kind of divides so that all the noise from the compressors, tire machines, brake lathes, and all that are basically hidden behind the wall. And then along with all of our filters, so oil filters, some brake pads that are just on hand, air filters, and then nuts and bolts and washers and things are all in the back. That way, keeps
so
a nice
I noticed
clean look.
You're not air conditioned.
No, no air conditioning, just fans, and then we keep the bay doors open, so it gets a little warm in the summer, but the fans help keep some airflow. And then where we're at in spring, it's a lot of wind, so it keeps it cool enough. And then all of our bulk tanks and waste tank and parts washer.
Did you invest in R1 1234Y?
Not in the machine yet. We have one that we share between the shops. We're close enough that when you need it, we can grab it.
Do you grab the machine or send the vehicle?
We just grab the machine. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. So we just load it up. I've got a shop truck that I use, and I just go grab it real quick and bring it back because you hardly use it. It seems like I've probably only used it 5 times since I've been open. Although we do have a car in today that needs it. And, but yeah, so I just grab it, bring it back, and use it back and forth. And it's
how many lifts, Riley? How many lifts?
So we have a total of 6 lifts. We've got a heavy duty lift, 3 8,000-pound lifts, and then the 4-post for alignments as well. And then we've kept 3 flat bays and 1 state inspection bay.
Was that a loaner car out front?
So that is our customer shuttle car. So we have a shuttle car that we use to shuttle people back and forth. And then we do have a loaner car that we keep in the back that just has repair one loaner car. It's a small SUV that we're able to loan out for people. Cool. And we've got a few of those.
Great. Hey, could you put your mom on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi there.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Sorry about the mic issue.
That's okay. Good to have you on. Thank you so much for doing this virtual shop tour for us. I love the kids' play area.
That's cool.
It was Brenda who sent me an email. She says, "Hey, you got to see our kids' play area. Let's do a shop tour." And to me, that was an incredible highlight. And I am sure you can't wait for COVID to open up everything and have a new the kids come over. How often? I guess my question is because I'm seeing a lot of kids play areas in shops. Not a
Yeah.
lot, but they're there. How many during the week would you have come in and
Well,
play there?
well, at our location in the Woodlands, we have kids probably every day. Well, maybe 3 to 4 days a week, I guess, but there's quite a few. And so we don't have room for a whole car set like we do at the Klein location. So we have a little short kids desktop area attached to our iPad bar and some toy stand-up toy thing that they can play with. So at Riley's, I think when it picks up and it gets busier here, I would assume the market here is the same. There's lots of families and younger kids too, so I think it will get used a lot. There is a shop down the road from us that also has a huge like Chick-fil-A kind of play area. They took up a lot of space for that. And we thought we'd offer something unique that was related to the car industry. And when we saw this car that we could get that they could remove the parts and play with it, it just seemed like, a fun idea.
Well, I hope that gets young people interested in being in the automotive someday, because man, we are a high-tech lab coat industry anymore, aren't we?
Yeah.
Charlie, what's your opinion of the children's play area?
That car is tremendous. I just can't imagine if I was a kid and I had access to that car, I'd be rebuilding the engine first thing.
I bet you would. Oh, that's great. So how many parking spots out there at this location?
So there's 4 in the front, and then there's a couple on the side, and then behind the shop, there's a huge parking area that wasn't shown in the video. But so what they typically do is bring the cars around immediately to the back, so we leave the open spots at the front. And there's a lot of room. I don't know how far back it goes, Riley, but yeah, they have a good amount of parking.
How long you been at this location, Brenda?
This location has only been open since the end of last September, so 9-ish months.
Oh, wait a minute. You grew during COVID?
Yes, we did. So we had, yeah, it's good and bad, right? We had the plans already in place before COVID hit. We had just started construction, and COVID hit, shut everything down. We put a stop to construction for a little while, as long as we could, actually, before the builder and we decided, okay, let's move forward. Surely things are going to open up soon. And we could open when it was finished, but they're just, like around the nation, there weren't people driving. So it was, yeah.
So did you buy this location? It wasn't a shop, and then you added to it? Because, I'm hearing the word construction.
Oh, well, it was a shop. Yeah, we actually own the land here. It's kind of a long story, but we've owned this land for a long time, and my husband's father has owned it. It has been a shop, but it was not our shop way back.
I see.
Then this, the owner of the shop that was previously here went under, and he left, and it was left vacant for about 8 to 10 months. Riley was graduating college, and he knew he wanted to get into the business, and so we took a go at it and decided to completely tear it down to the foundation, pretty much.
I love it. I love it. Great story. Riley, we're going to build a business around you. Wow. How cool is that? Hey, Brenda, Riley, thank you guys so much for being here. Now stick with us as we finish off the show and we expose our trivia answer. What year did the U.S. have registered 1 million cars? This is going to surprise you. 1913. 1913. Right now, there's 287 million vehicles registered in the U.S. in 2020. But I thought that was really interesting. And you can see the picture back there. That is 1913. Hey, next week, we're going to have in the guest host seat Scott Braun from Cardinal Plaza Shell in Fairfax Station, Virginia, and Aidan McDonald. McDonald's Automotive. I think we spelled something wrong there. In Livingston, Montana. Thanks to Charlie Marcotte from American Pride out in Virginia, 4 stores, and to Brenda and Riley, mother and son O'Neal, from O'Neal's Repair One Automotive in the Woodlands. And the location we saw was where again?
Springkline area.
The Springkline area in Texas. Hey, thanks for making this show so great to all of you, and we appreciate it. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks, everyone.